Hello, people of the internet. It is I, Ashley, and I come to you today with an unboxing and a book haul. I just want to say real quick, I've been doing, pretty much since my channel has been public, I've been doing monthly subscription box unboxings, and I did want to let you guys know that is going to change going forward, and that is simply because money is tight and I am exercising as many skips as I possibly can going forward until things, get a little better for me in terms of money. I'm really only trying to buy the books that I know I'm gonna love, or authors that I trust and that I have collections for. So there's gonna be nothing to show you going forward in terms of unboxings. Sometimes I'm only gonna have one box and that just isn't good, but I know that you guys like it and they're consistently the best performing videos on my channel. So what I'm gonna do instead, I think, is maybe every 2 to 3 months I will do an unboxing book haul. So I will unbox whatever boxes I have that month and then show you the books that I've gotten in the last few months, which hopefully will keep me accountable and also provide you entertainment. With that explanation, I do have two boxes to unbox. I've got Aardvark and Fairyloot. I skipped book of the month this month, even though there were some really great choices, James Frey aside, because I'd either decided I wasn't reading a book, which is, the S.A. Cosby. I can't do organized crime. I hate it. I don't plan on reading that. And then there were other books like Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, which I've got coming in future subscription boxes, and I've just stuff that, there just wasn't it. So I just skipped. Also, I was in the hospital when I skipped, so that may have affected my decision making. I was just like, I don't care, skip. And then I skipped a Lumacrate. I do not remember what the book was. I will put it here. It just didn't seem like something I wanted to spend almost $40 on. So I skipped it. And then I skipped the Magician series also. Oh shit. I had my water on the floor, so it wasn't on camera. That was a bad idea. I skipped the Magician series by Raymond D. Feist, which is the Broken Bindings current series, and they are shipping out book 2 this month. So they are charging me next month for the next series though, which I find out what that is pretty soon. There's rumors about what it's going to be, and I'm happy if that's the case. But for now, I don't have Broken Binding for you. So what I'm going to do is unbox these and then show you the roughly 15-ish books that I've bought since March, so you can see what I've been up to. Let's unbox. Okay, so first is Aardvark. I had a really hard time this month narrowing it down to 2. I almost got 3. I do have a second account for emergencies in case I want more, but I didn't. I'm trying to be good. Gosh darn it. Oh, there's Aardvark Book Club Bingo. It's an official June tradition. That's cute. And then we have all of the books if you want to know what you were missing out on. I already read The Devils, or I would have gotten that one probably. So the books I did end up getting, which I'm very excited about. First up is The Memory Collectors by, I don't know how to say this, Dete, Meserve. This just looked really cool. It's a science fiction book about time travel. So let me read you the blurb. What would you do if you could spend an hour in your past? 4 strangers on the beach town of Ventura, California are about to find out. Elizabeth aches for one more precious hour with her son, who died in a senseless accident. Andy is desperate to find his first love, who vanished after a whirlwind romance. Logan craves the rush of surfing and mountain climbing, yearning to reclaim the freedom he lost after a misstep landed him in a wheelchair. Brooke is looking for an hour of relief from the guilt of an unforgivable mistake. Enter Aeon Expeditions, a groundbreaking time travel invention of Mark Saunders, which allows some lucky clients the chance to spend an hour in their past. Even though Aeon's technology ensures time travel can't alter the future, all 4 clients, including Mark's ex-wife Elizabeth, yearn to revisit the hour that changed their lives forever. But when their hour extends beyond 60 minutes, they find themselves stranded in the past. As their paths intertwine unexpectedly, they unearth shocking secrets hidden in the shadows of their shared history. All their lives were shattered the same night on a secluded highway by the beach. As they delve into the hidden truths of that pivotal hour, a startling revelation emerges. They were not alone. Someone else was present, harboring deadly intentions. And that sounds even better than I remember it sounding. I can't wait to dig into this one. The second book that I got, oh, I forgot, bookmark. I gotta love their bookmarks. They're so good. The book is for you, but the box is for a cat. There's a cat right behind the camera. I don't know if he's not really a box guy though, you know what I mean? Pippin, do you want to go in the box? He says no, he's good. And then the second book I ended up getting, I was gonna get this one anyway, but it turns out they did a special edition of it, so I really wanted to get it. And that's The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. Oh wait, I forgot. What color is this? Oh, I like these colors. And the spine isn't that great. The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. I've had ish luck with Caitlin Starling before. I've given both of the books I've read by her previously 3.5 stars, but this one sounds wackadoo, and I really think I'm going to like it. So let's look at the special edition real quick, and then I will read you the summary. So they have gold foiling on the bottom, and then this honeycomb pattern with little honeybees on the front. That's what the spine looks like. And then the back says Aardvark and then more honeycomb. And I just think that's so cute. It is not signed, although they did have a signed edition of another book this month. What was it? Someone Knows by Vi Keeland, which is a thriller. Pippin currently has the Aardvark box up his nose, so that's fun. Also, just look at look at that. So this involves nuns, and you guys know my thing about nuns, but also, oh, I didn't think I ever noticed that this is a honeycomb, that weird nun lady is holding a honeycomb. All right, let's read this. A transfixing fever dream of medieval horror from the nationally best-selling author of The Luminous Dead and the Death of Jane Lawrence. Aymar Castle has been under siege for 6 months. Food is running low, and there's been no sign of rescue. But just as the survivors consider deliberately thinning their number, cannibalism, castle stores are replenished, the sick are healed, and the divine figures of the Constant Lady and her saints have arrived, despite the barricaded gates, offering succor in return for devotion. Soon the entire castle is under the sway of their saviors, partaking in intoxicating feasts of terrible origin. The war hero Servoin gives her allegiance... Oh, a lady knight. Gives her allegiance to the Constant Lady. Focine, a disorganized paranoid nun-turned-sorceress, that sounds fun, races to unravel the mystery of these new visitors and exonerate her experiments as their source. And in the bowels of the castle, a serving girl, Trela, is torn between her thirst for a secret vengeance and the desperate need to escape the horrors that are unfolding within Aymar's walls. As the castle descends into bacchanalian madness, forgetting the massed army beyond its walls in favor of hedonistic ecstasy, these three women are the only ones to still see their situation for what it is. But they are not immune to the temptations of the castle's new masters or each other, and their shifting alliances and entangled pasts bring violence to the surface. Saving the castle and themselves will take a reimagining of who they are and a reorganization of the very world itself. No idea what to expect with that one. Also, while I was reading that, Pippin was in the Aardvark box, so he made me a liar. Come here. Did you make mommy a liar? Did you make mommy a liar? Can you look at everyone in the face? Can you look at everyone in the face, honey? By the way, I'm not sorry that I have the air conditioning on right now. I was boiling, and sweating. And I always get sweaty when I do these videos for some reason. So the air conditioning's on and you're just gonna have to deal with it. All right, and then let's unbox Fairyloot. This is their adult monthly box. This book, I know what it is and I've seen the cover. I haven't seen the insides or the special, whatever customizations. This is this month's theme. This is the book, in case you don't want to wait 10 seconds. And then, so this book, people are throwing fit online about, which, I mean, partly they have a right, because there's a bunch of people, apparently, it's becoming very apparent that a bunch of people have Fairyloot and Illumicrate subscriptions, mostly Fairyloot though for some reason. And they have them not because they want the books, but because so they can scalp them and resell them for ridiculous rates. And they are part of the artificial inflation of some of these really hard to get special editions, of which this is one. People were mad this was a monthly book and not one of the ones that you could buy in the shop outside of that and just wait in line, because people are not able to get a subscription apparently because of these jackasses who have subscriptions and then don't actually want the books, but are there to make money off of a company that's already making money, which is gross. So for anyone who is curious, I have not read a single book by this author. I'm going to try to read it pretty quickly because I know this is an in-demand book that people want. And if I don't like it, I will put it on Pango for a very reasonable price, like 40, 45 bucks. So that way I'll just get my money back, and that's fine. But apparently some of these are going for $200, $300, $400. It's just one book. Maddening. So here's the book, which is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. She is the author of the One Dark Window duology, which I have had on my TBR and have had actually out from the library a couple times, audio and physically. Hey, Pippin, don't. And just never gotten around to it. I don't know why. It's young adult. This is adult. I think I like the original cover better. I will put it here. I like the color palette of this one, but the lady on this one isn't, I think, I don't know. She's just kind of washed out. This is the spine. Here's the back. Oh yeah, so I could always turn it around, I guess. This is the original cover with a slight color change. And then we've got a cloth-bound naked hardcover with silver foiling. This is the spine. More same on the back. And then we've got stenciled edges or laser printed edges, I'm not sure which. On the inside we have art from that same artist. This is the main character apparently. And then is it the same on the other side? No. Well, that guy looks like he needs a nap. This is a pretty edition. Honestly, it's not like the prettiest thing I've ever seen, but I'm not really a huge fan of like really light colors. I like bold colors. That might explain it, but let's find out what this is about, because other than it being about a lady night, I do not remember. Sybil Delling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams at all. Like the other foundling girls who traded a decade of service for a home in the great cathedral, Sybil is a diviner. In her dreams, she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as omens. From them, she can predict terrible things, but before they occur. And lords and common folk alike travel across the kingdom of Trom? That's a weird name. Trom's windswept moors to learn their futures by her dreams. Just as she and her sister diviners near the end of their service, a mysterious knight arrives at the cathedral. Rude, heretical, and devilishly handsome, the knight Roderick has no respect for Sybil's visions. But when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. For the world outside the cathedral's cloister is wrought with peril. Only the gods have the answers she is seeking, and as much as she'd rather avoid Roderick's dark eyes and sharp tongue, only a heretic can defeat a god. Interesting. So this has potential. I might really like this, and depending on the writing style, I might hate it. So I guess we'll find out pretty soon. I'm going to try and read it in July, which is mood reading month. These are this month's books. Three books. I have Conquered Capitalism. Just kidding, no I haven't. Capitalism is eating me alive. Blah, 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 blah. Let's put that there. So now let's look at the books I've gotten. I think March was the earliest one, and then one I got the day before. No, 2 I got the day before I went into the hospital. I've got them split up by genre. So let's look real quick. I'm not going to go into like detailed summaries of each one. So first up is Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. I am really irritated. Obviously, the hospital is a huge inconvenience for many reasons, not including like the inevitably huge hospital bill I'm going to get in several weeks, and I'm not looking forward to it. But this was the very last book that I had set to read. Pippin, no, stop it. Stop. That's a book that's not for you. Playing with the tassels on my bookmark. So I was set to read this at the end of May. Like I was going to read it in a day. And now I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. Vera will have to wait, but this is a cozy mystery. It was initially just a standalone. Vera Wong's, what was it called? Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. It was such a fun read. It was one of my favorite books of 2023, I believe. And this is the sequel. I'm a little wary that it's not going to be as fun as the first book, or that it'll wear out its welcome, because Jesse Q. Sutanto's series in the past, like I love Dial A for Aunties, and every subsequent book has been less fun. So sometimes books don't need series, and I'm hoping this is the case where it works. I haven't heard anyone read this yet though, so I don't know how it's going down. Next up is a Stephen King book, the new Stephen King, which is Never Flinch. This is another Holly Gibney book, but I've heard she plays a very light presence in it. Honestly, I don't care. I love Holly Gibney. As long as he's like feeling inspired and wants to keep writing about her, go for it, dude. But this is a return to the crime genre for him. I do not believe there's anything supernatural in here. I could be wrong. This is more of like a social issues crime book. Not quite sure what it's about exactly. I just buy Stephen King books now. I don't don't read the summary. I think it has to do with like two separate storylines converging onto one, and one of them is about a woman's rights activist, and the other one is about a serial killer, and there's a letter from a serial killer on the back of the book. So we'll see how those are going to come together, but I'm excited. I'm getting to this later this month. This is one of my 30 books in 30 days. And this is one of the books that I got on Monday before I went into the hospital, and I actually started it. I'm on page 31, and I tried to read. I opened it in the hospital one time, and it was like I had no brain. So this is the only book I had with me, and that is Marble Hall Murders by Anthony Horowitz. I was really enjoying it before my gallbladder crapped out and decided it was time to evacuate. But the last time I tried to pick this up, I felt like I was like, what are words? You know what I mean? So I'm sure I'll pick this up again, probably sometime in July. Again, because this isn't on the schedule, and it's pretty thick. It's like 500 something pages long. It's a really long mystery, because as always with the fun thing about this series, this is book 3 in the Susan Ryland series. There's always a book within a book, so you get 2 murder mysteries for the price of one, and the murder mystery that you read, like there's an entire book in the middle of this book. I'm not kidding. And so you read that, and then there's a murder mystery where that book is like providing clues for the murder mystery in the real world. I just think it's really fun. It's catnip for me, and I'm sure I'll get around to it very, very soon. Okay, so that was mystery. Real quick, I did also, actually this is the newest one because it came in the mail as a pre-order. I did get a copy of Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, which is her latest book. I caught up, and then immediately they sent me a new book. So I don't know when I'm going to get around to this, but I think I'm going to return this copy because it's damaged. You probably can't see, but it's all crinkled. Looks like it got bent in the mail on the front and on the back. And if I'm going to be buying books, I want them to be in good condition before I read them. Like if I ruin them, fine, but they need to come pristine. I'm really annoyed this didn't. That's an age gap romance, apparently. Let's look at my one and only nonfiction book. This is the second book I got in the Memorial Day points sale at Barnes & Noble. I had like a whole stack of books, and I texted my friends. I was like, which 2 should I get? I'm only allowed to get 2. And all of them agreed that I should get this book, which is a copy of Slayers, Every One of Us by Kristen Russo and Jenny Owen Youngs. I had the audio arc of this, which was very delightful, but I'm very glad I actually picked up the physical copy because there's lots of fun stuff in here visually. Like there's doodles all throughout the book from Jenny, and there's a really cool picture section that you totally would have missed. Look, it's them with James Marsters, and the pictures are adorable, and I highly enjoy them. Look, it's Buffy prom. I would love to go to Buffy prom someday. That's the actual Torrance High School where Buffy was filmed. Anyway, I'm really glad I have a copy of this, and I'm sure the next time I read it, if I read it again, which I will, I'm gonna read it again, it's fine. I cried so many times. I will read it by hard copy. Next up, I've got general fiction / literary fiction. These are the book of the month books I got last month. First one was My Friends by Frederick Bachman, the new Frederick Bachman. I've got this one up again later this month. I think this has to do with a group of friends and a painting. I'm not quite sure. Again, this is an author that I just auto buy ever since Anxious People, which is one of my favorite books. I just auto buy this author now. I'm getting the feeling though this is going to not be one of my favorites. I think this is more of a sentimental one than it is like a funny one, but we'll see. And then I also picked up The Names by Florence Knapp, which is, I'm hearing good things about it, but I just like the premise sounded really fun, even though it's literary fiction / historical fiction. And it's about 35 years in the life of one baby, one family. But if the only thing that's different is if the baby that's just born at the beginning of the book has a different name. So as far as I understand, the baby has 3 different names in 3 different timelines, and we follow and see what happens and how the name changes that. I just thought that was a really cool concept, and also this cover is really pretty. So I have no idea when I'm gonna get to this. This isn't something that's gonna be on my radar as something to like read immediately, but hopefully, I mean, I have so many book of the month books to get to, you know, we live in hope. Then I got this book. I haven't read it yet. This is one of my 30 books in 30 days also, so I'm gonna be reading it soon. But I'm like really upset about it, like beforehand. Like maybe I'll like it, but I've heard such bad things about it, and I'm really sad. Also, I don't like this cover. And also, I threw a temper tantrum when I saw that Reese's Book Club adulterated this cover. I hate that so much. Like, stay off, or at least make it removable. Like this or not, I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm not keeping, I hate that. It's a blight. I'm going to be unhauling this after I read it because it's hideous. If I like it, there's the Barnes & Noble special edition without the sticker that has like pink and purple tones-ish. But I think probably what's gonna happen is I'm just gonna unhaul it. I don't know. You know, I could be one of the outliers and love it. But what I'm hearing, in case you are, you know, skip ahead like 10 seconds, that it's like Temu grade Evelyn Hugo. Temu, it's Temu, not Temu, whatever. Shut up. And then this one, I'm so excited about. I cannot wait. This is also a 30 book and 30 day. I'm reading this one this month. And that's Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the Barnes & Noble special edition. Luckily, I got the Barnes & Noble special edition because if you thought I threw a temper tantrum over Reese's Book Club putting their sticker or their whatever you call it, their logo on the cover of Great Big Beautiful Life, you can bet I threw an absolute shit fit when this showed up with a Good Morning America sticker right here. Good Morning America Book Club. Like, get the off my, like, this is a special edition even, and it's still like squatting on the cover. It's a felony. It's a felony to do that. So I removed the Barnes & Noble sticker from this side and put it over that, so I didn't have to see it because it made me so mad. Like previously in the past, if you're safe when you buy the Barnes & Noble editions, they don't have other stickers on them. They're like pristine and nice. They're free of that shit. But it was on this, and I'm so mad. Like, what are they gonna do next? Why do they, the entitlement, the absolute nerve. Off, Good Morning America, Reese Witherspoon's book club, and Read with Jenna. I'm so mad. Sci-Fi fantasy, and then we're gonna call it a day. Back in April, I picked up The Butcher's Masquerade by Matt Dinniman, which is book 5 in Dungeon Crawler Carl. I still need book 6. It was published early May, and I just haven't been able to scrape the money together. It's a fucking $40 book before sale, so I'm gonna find it on sale, maybe get up my Barnes & Noble points so I can get some money in there or whatever. But yeah, it's $40 on the sticker price. This one was $35, but look how freaking big it is. And look at Donut. This is probably my favorite Dungeon Crawler Carl book, so it's fine. But I just want to show you guys. It says All Eyes on Me. The back does have a little featured donut. I want to start my reread of this series pretty soon, maybe late summer. Once I have a copy of the 6th book, then I will, whatever, who cares? Love donut. Then I got it just because I saw everyone, and actually this was supposed to come in a subscription box book, and it was gonna be like $36, and I'm glad I skipped it because I don't actually think the special edition, I think it was a Lumicrate, and I was sad for a second because it's getting such good reviews that I didn't get the special edition, but I actually like the original edition better. I think it's prettier than the special edition, and that's the Raven Scholar. Look at all that shiny silver, and then the side, and then it's got the French flaps, which I love. Oh, it's so long. Ooh, it smells good. But I am really excited to read this. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. Hopefully soon. Maybe in July. I've got like 60 books I want to read. There's no way I'm going to read them all. But yeah, this book, I don't actually know exactly what it's about because at a certain point I was like, everyone's loving this. I sort of want to preserve the surprise. I'm seeing people go wild for this book in fantasy circles that I follow, and people whose tastes that I really trust absolutely love it. Very excited. This was my April unboxing. This book came late, so I didn't get to unbox it for you guys, so I'll show you now, and I'm tentatively optimistic about it, but we'll see. And that's Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. I actually think this is a really cool redesign. I mean, I really like the original cover. I'll put it here, but this is actually, it's kind of stunning. And on the back it says, money is the family business, magic is the family curse. This is the spine. And then we've got stenciled edges. and then just purple at the top. And then it does have a colorway change of the original cover. It's purple instead of grayish blue. The cloth bound foiled hardcover, which this design goes all the way around, and I like that a lot. And then the inside is the three siblings. I'm not a huge fan of that art style, but I really like the design. Is it the same on the other side? No. And then I'm not sure who those people are. Are they the same people? Just older? I don't know. Not quite sure. But I think this is a pretty stunning edition, and actually I'm really pleased with it. So I hope I like it. I don't know. I really didn't like the Atlas 6. I gave that 3 stars both times I read it, and then I couldn't make it more than like 20 pages into the sequel. That's the only stuff I've read from her, so I have Masters of Death. I do want to give that a shot, and this, and then we'll decide from there if Olivia Blake is for me. So one day I walked into Target to get a present for my friend's son who was having his first communion, and I walked out with the present, and I also walked out with Harvest of Hearts. This was on like deep discount because it's a Target book club book. I guess there was a book club. Target has a book club now, and this is one of them. This is on my TBR, and I saw it, and it was cute, and it was on sale, like 30% off, I think. It's got some sprayed edges, which not every book needs sprayed edges, you guys. Like, they're not as cool when every book has them. Plus, like, I'm not a huge fan of the blocky, just like things sitting on the edges. It's not my favorite. But this book sounds like a really fun, cozy fantasy. Kind of Howl's Moving Castle-esque, but I read the first sentence, and I was like, oh, that sounds really fun. I'm gonna read that. The first sentence is, they said that magic, real magic, not the shite that the hedge witches peddled with all their little bags of powders and herbs, could only be performed in exchange for a human heart. You say shite in your first sentence, I'm gonna buy your book. I know this has to do with magic and stealing hearts, and this middle-aged woman, I think, is the main character, and somebody steals her heart and she has to go find it. I think that's what it's about, but anyway, I have high hopes. I did want to show you guys this came in May, the 3rd book in the Mask of Mirrors series. What's it called? I don't remember. By M.A. Carrick, and that is Labyrinth's Heart. This is the Broken Binding edition. I think this is the prettiest one, to be honest with you. The back says, we will meet again when the road leads you home, when the river meets the sea. This month's cards are blue. I think these are the prettiest edges. Has a purple undercover, and then there's a rose on the back. This is what it looks like, and it's got 2 people dancing next to a canal, and on the other side, a handsome, mysterious man and some other people in like weird costumes. I have no idea what's going on there, but I have this whole series now, so I'm ready to go. I can just start it and go. Will I? You may have seen this already in one of my previous videos, but I picked up a copy of Green Teeth on Independent Bookstore Day. There we go. I forgot the words. It's about a monster named Jenny Greenteeth who lives in a lake, and one day somebody throws a witch in the lake, and it starts off with her being like, should I eat the witch or save her? And then it goes from there. And I think they go on a quest together, and like they become friends, and it just sounds really fun. And look at that cover. It's stunning. Again, want to get to this soon. Have 300 books on my TBR, physical TBR. Will I? Who knows? Last month's Aardvark book, I ended up picking When the Tides Held the Moon. This is a fantasy book, queer fantasy book about a man and a merman falling in love, and it's getting really good reviews, and it just sounds like something that I'm going to be super into. It is illustrated, which is really fun. And then this is what the cover looks like, and then the side. Again, I really want to get to this soon, but when is soon? When? And then the last book to show you, and look at that, we're at 34 minutes. I did sell my copy of The Prince Without Sorrow. Or wait, did I sell it? Or is it just on Pango? Anyway, it's on Pango, I think. I don't think I actually sold it. You guys can check. My Pango store is linked below if you liked that copy of The Prince Without Sorrow, which I really didn't like. This popped up on Pango, so I got a copy of it, and it's so much cooler. I love this cover with the deer and the dragon wrapped around its antlers. It's so much better. Hopefully I can get to this one as soon as well. You know what? If I get to all of these books soon, I need a freaking time machine to do that, because This is what happens though when I look at all my books. I'm like, I want to read that one, I want to read that one, I want to read that one, I want to read that one. That's all the books we have. So with that, I will leave you for another couple of months at least. Probably, maybe, soon. Let me know what your thoughts are on the unboxings. I know there are a lot of you who just watch the unboxings, so if you have feedback, if you have something you would like to see, that's fine. But just know that I'm doing this because funds are tight. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, as always, please don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe if you want to. You can also find links to my other stuff down below, my Goodreads, my Blue Sky, which I'm not really on yet. I don't want to set up that habit right now, but eventually maybe. We also live in hope that I will become active on social media again one day. And then also my wish list, my buy me a coffee, link to free month and 3 audiobooks from Everand, that kind of stuff is all down below. And if you have made it this far, please leave me a honeybee for the starving saints. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, love you, bye.